Right now, election workers are tasked with verifying the tens of thousands of signatures that they've collected for the No LaToya recall effort. Pretty soon, residents in Orleans Parish could be given the opportunity to vote on whether they want to keep the mayor in office. We're joined by WWL TV political analyst Clancy DuBos. And it is getting kind of confusing now, because in the beginning we heard that they needed about 53,000 signatures. They said they have 49,000. They filed a lawsuit saying a lot of the names that were on the roll shouldn't be there. I mean, it was complicated to begin with. It's gotten more complicated.
Yes, it's a complex series of pulleys and ropes, and most people involved are multitasking right now. What's the case was, initially they needed about 53,300 or thereabouts.
Yeah.
Then it looked like they got an updated copy of who the active voters are, because the law says you base it on the number of active registered voters, and it got lowered. It's actually closer to 50,000. It's 49,970 something. So
yeah,
let's call it 50,000.
But they filed a lawsuit. Does that
then
have to be heard?
Then they filed a lawsuit saying our research showed there's another 32,700 plus that should not even be active. Now, let's be clear. They're not asking a judge to purge the rolls. They're simply asking a judge to look at this evidence and order the registrar of voters to move these folks from active to inactive.
And that has not happened yet.
It is, as far as we know.
Okay.
But to be clear, what's very important here is that if your name is on the inactive list, you can still vote. This is not a purge.
Right.
The only people that will be purged are people who've died. They have to come off by law. But if you're on the inactive list, you can still vote.
Right.
In fact, if you sign the petition and turn it in, that alone will get you back on the active list. If you're an inactive voter and sign the petition, that will, by law, that's not my opinion, that's what the law says. So people should not be afraid of this. This is not something that threatens anybody's right to vote. This is not a voting rights issue. This is strictly a question of what's the right number. And right now, the right number is a moving target.
Yeah,
and that's part of the problem.
I think a lot of people were concerned because they were worried about backlash from the mayor's office.
Right, and backlash from the public.
Yeah.
You know, is this going to be a purge, or is somebody threatening to purge us and all that? So it's not that. But the exact number of signatures needed is a moving target right now. Very much a moving target.
Okay.
I don't think it'll be higher than just below 50,000, but it could be anywhere from a couple of thousand to 6,500 fewer. So it's anywhere from 43,500 or thereabouts to 50,000 or so.
So let's say they have enough verified names, and the next step, it goes to the governor's office.
Right. And the governor, not the governor's office, but the governor himself.
The governor himself,
and
yeah.
he, under the law, has 15 days to call the election. He won't need 15 days. But by law, it has to be, if they have enough signatures, and that's a big assumption right now, it depends on when he receives it. Mathematically, it is possible that the referendum, if they have enough signatures, could be on April 29th. But the governor would have to receive it by around April 10th or 12th.
And is he legally bound if they do have enough signatures to call?
He must call it.
Okay.
It's not like Trump thought Pence had. It's not like he has any discretion. It's a purely ministerial function. And the law says it has to be at the next regularly scheduled election, which is why I'm talking about April 29th. It's not very likely, but it's mathematically possible that if the registrar gets a lot of help and verifies enough signatures, whatever enough is, by say March the 10th or March the 12th, she has until March 22nd. But if she gets it done early and the governor gets it, he could conceivably call an election for April 29th if he does it by March 14th. The reason March 14th is important is the law says to be on a general election ballot, which is what April 29th is, the governor has to call it by 46 days or more before the general election. 46 days before April 29th is March 14th.
And then it goes to the voters.
Otherwise, it's going to be, and it's more likely to be on the October 14th ballot, which is the next regularly scheduled election. And the important thing about that date, that's the date of the statewide races for governor, all the statewide offices, legislature.
So you'll have more voting, yeah.
Everywhere in Louisiana.
All right, and
busy ballot, long
the
ballot.
one thing I have said, whether you agree with the recall effort or not, it does show that people are speaking their mind, and for so long we have seen people not get involved. People are very much involved in this.
Yes, and this has been very much a ground up effort. You haven't seen a bunch of political or business or civic leaders coming out. In fact, you haven't seen any of them. You've only seen Eileen Carter and Belden Batiste and a couple of big-time business people, but not many. It's not like the Business Council got behind it. It's mostly Rick Farrell and a few others. So,
all right.
But they've also done a template for how to do recalls in a big city. You got to run it like a political campaign. You got to have plenty of money and plenty of organization.
All right. Thank you very much, Clancy. We
right.
appreciate it. We always appreciate your insight. Let's get over to Peyton now.